Hi, and welcome to Stamping Fun with Donna. I'm Donna, and every Monday I bring you a Monday Mini. Monday Minis are cards that you can make that are really fast so that when you don't have a lot of time and you're leaving your house but you need to have a card, you have something quick that you can make. But my Monday Minis are also beautiful. It's something you'd be proud to give and something somebody would be very excited to receive. Here's the one we're going to be doing today. We're going to be using the Silly Old Bear Designer Series paper and the Sweet Words and Labels die set. So, and then just some blending brushes. Now stick around to the end because I have some alternatives that have different ways of doing this that I would love for you to see. I'm going to go ahead and put that right up in the top like that. And all we need for this is a regular piece of white paper, of white cardstock. So let me grab one of those, and we're going to cut it like we normally do using the trimmer. So here's my Stampin' Up trimmer, and I'm going to put it right here. Go ahead and cut it as we normally do it, 5 1/2 right down the middle. And then we're going to set this one aside because we will need that in just a second. And then fold it in half the other way, the other direction. And this is going to give you a regular A2 card base that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Now normally I guess more often I should say, I have these in the portrait direction, but this one, what we're going to be putting on here goes more horizontally. So we're going to do it in the landscape position, but you cut the paper exactly the same way. Now I'm going to take the piece we had set aside and cut the layer that goes right on top of it. So that would be a 4-inch piece here by 5 1/4. I've just taken a 1/4 inch off of the sides so that we can, so it'll be slightly smaller than the card base itself and fit right inside. Here we go. So now we have this piece, we have the base, we have this piece in the base, I guess. So I wanted to go ahead and show you. This is one of the pieces of the Designer Series paper from Silly Old Bear. And this is what we used. I cut out this one to make that card right there. And we're going to be cutting out a different one today. But from the magic of television, we're going to pretend we did that with this one right here, which is right here. And we're going to go ahead and use that. Now, how did I cut it out so really cutely? Is using the Sweet Words and Labels dies, and we're also going to use the photopolymer stamp set as well for the greeting. So the dies here are absolutely stunning. They're really beautiful, and even if you don't want the poo, these dies make gorgeous projects for places to put die cuts on, places to put sentiments on, all sorts of things. But they also cut out pictures from the Silly Old Bear Designer Series paper. That's what we're going to be doing, or that's what we did right now. I took the second to largest from the middle part, and I just put it right on here, and that cut out this piece perfectly. So let me go ahead and set this aside. Oh, but before I do that, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to use different colors. What I do is I use the colors that are shown in the scene. So this one has the poo, and I used Golden Glow, and I used a green color for the cheer. I used Old Olive, and here I used the pecan pie because there's a lot of brown in it too. Today, when we use this one, we're going to use slightly different colors because this has a lot of blue in it. So I'm going to use the Balmy Blue for that. And for Piglet, I'm bringing in the Bubble Bath. Now, if you're ever not sure of the colors you should use, just look at the Designer Series paper. It goes ahead and tells you what colors match with that. So I have here my Balmy Blue. I'm going to move this one out of the way so I don't get it inky. My Bubble Bath and my Pecan Pie. And each one of these is going to have a blending brush. Do you use blending brushes? They're really super. They're fast. They're easy. They're great to add color to anything. Usually when I use blending brushes, what I do is, that's the wrong one. Let me put that one down. Here's my blue. And I don't have one for every color, but I have sort of one for color families. So this is blues and teals. This one will be pinks, and this one will be browns. So normally when I do this, I go ahead and stamp it. I go ahead and ink it up like that. And then I go ahead and tell you to just sort of get some of it off so it's not streaky. But we want it to be streaky today. So we're gonna make it even easier than that. We're going to go ahead and get this nice and full of ink. And we're going to just take it from the top and bring it down and just streak it and not re-ink it in between. We want to get it kind of close to the top and kind of close to the bottom. And we want to make sure that we have dark areas and light areas. Now I'm going to do the same thing, but this time I'm going to use the bubble bath. The bubble bath is a lot lighter, of course. So sometimes I go ahead and I ink this one up a second time to try to get a little bit more streaky and a little bit darker areas. You want to have both dark and light areas. And now I'm going to use the pecan pie, and I'm going to do the same thing on the right-hand side. I like to overlap them just a little bit so that the colors are touching each other and overlapping and blend from one to the other. I think it gives a really pretty look to it. So now I'm going to take the Pooh Bear and I'm going to grab some dimensionals. And here are our dimensionals. And I'm just going to, before I do that, let me check that the colors are great. There's enough above and below and on the sides. That's what I'm looking for, to make sure I don't want to add any more to that before I go ahead and put him down on the paper. So let me go ahead and put the Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of the scene we've taken from the Silly Old Bear Designer Series paper. I put 4 on here. 4 is plenty for this. So I'm going to go ahead and take those off. There we go. Got some gunk on the back of that, but it doesn't matter because we're not going to see it. So now we're going to take the scene and just place it right in the center of our piece of white paper. And we're going to take the piece of white paper that we just decorated, and we're going to use liquid glue to glue it on top of our card base. Here we go, some glue right around. You don't need much when you're talking about liquid glue because it's very strong. So let me go ahead and pick up the piece that's going to go on top, and we're going to place it right in the middle. We're basically looking to make sure that there is approximately equal borders on all sides of the paper. And there we go. That's basically the card. I did grab some shimmery, what are these? Shimmering dots, because they go so well with this and they're absolutely beautiful. I don't know if you can really see it well, but they have a lot of shimmer to them and a lot of sparkle. And so we're going to go ahead and put a few of these around. There's large and smaller ones. I'm going to go ahead and put 2 of the larger ones here. And then actually I want to put one of the larger ones towards the bottom here. And then another of the smaller ones will go up here for the second one on top. I like to use 3. I like to group 2 of different sizes and then a larger one on the other side. And I like to group it around our focal point because it draws attention to it. The next thing we have to do is we have to add a sentiment to this. So from the Sweet Words and Labels, I have gone ahead and pulled out Oh Bother, and which is a great, I think that's a great sentiment for this. This looks to me like Pooh's getting into trouble. And so I think Oh Bother would be a great sentiment to put on here. I'm going to ink it up and just put it here in the corner and just place it on for a few seconds, and it comes out beautifully. So there we go. That's our card. It's basically over. It's very fast, as I told you. Now I do like to, I'm going to move these inks out of the way before I get in trouble with them. I do like to often decorate the inside as well. So I'm going to take a look at what we can do here. And there's a couple things we can do. I have these pieces that are set aside. And I can go ahead and I can cut out Pooh, but his ear is cut off a little bit. I could go ahead and cut out this poo with the honey pots. I think that would be very cute. Let me go ahead and see if I have my scissors that I would use. I don't have the scissors I usually use to cut this out right here with me. So I'm going to go ahead and pull on another pair of scissors. And what I find it's good is to just sort of cut around it just to get a good amount of paper that you can cut and move. Now when you cut this, I want to go along here, along the bottom where the floor is. You basically want to keep your cutting hand the same, and you want to be moving the paper. So right now I'm going to cut right around the edge of the floor and then make that a little bit rounder so that it does not look like it's not so sharp. And now you'll see that what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my right hand, my dominant hand, the same and not move it very much, just be using it to cut, and move the paper with my other hand. There we go. Now, like I said, I usually use my paper snips here, and we don't carry the paper snips anymore, but we have new scissors. I just haven't used them yet, but I'm really excited to give them a try as well. So I'm just going to cut right around this seam, and there. It's fussy cutting. People get nervous about fussy cutting. It's not a big deal, and nobody's going to look at that and go, gosh, you didn't cut as well as you could have. Particularly when you're putting it, it was on a white paper, and I'm putting it on white paper, so there isn't going to be much to see anyway right around the edges. And I'm just going to take him and turn him over, put a little glue on, and now we're going to put him at the edge. Because this edge was at the edge of the paper, I'm putting it at the edge of the paper here as well, so it makes sense that it was cut off there. It doesn't look like I cut it off wrong. And there you saw it slipped. I'm going to go ahead and reline this up. There we go. And that's our card. That's all there is to it. It's really fast. It's really cute. It takes very little time, and you can definitely do this when you're in a rush. Now I wanted to bring in some other ones that I've done and show you some differences on the cards that I have already done. And some alternatives. So this alternative right here, I'm going to take these and put these aside for just a second. This alternative, I went ahead and did purple. This is, what is this? I have it out still. Gorgeous Grape. And I have here Fresh Visa. And I have here Lemon Lolly. And then I went ahead and I stamped on it with one of the lilies, a smaller lily from the Lily of the Valley, and I just stamped on each one of the three. This one right here, I love butterflies. I'm sure you know I love butterflies. It's in my logo. It's the name of my team. I just love butterflies. So here I did some crushed curry and some bubble bath and some fresh freesia as well. And I also added in a little bit of crushed curry to make that a little bit deeper. I'm sorry, I added in a little bit of cherry cobbler to make that deeper. And then I used the All Flutter stamp set to stamp some butterflies and then punch them out and put them on top. And this one right here, I used some fall colors because we have fall coming up. And this is the Nature stamp set. What is that? Nature Symphony stamp set. And I just stamped one big stamp across them. I wanted to show you some different ways you could use it. Here I put the antique pearls, which are really pretty like that. Here's one big stamp. Here's three smaller stamp. Here's stamped and punched out. And then we have what we used today, which are the ones that I'm gonna just put them this way so you can see better. The one we used today, which is using Designer Series paper and cutting it out with a die. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you're enjoying this, and I hope you give this a try because it's really fun and cute and can be used with any kind of occasion and any kind of stamp set, but it's really fast. And when you're in a rush, it's a great thing to try. If you like this, please give me a thumbs up, and please also subscribe to my channel so you know when my videos are coming out. I do a Monday Mini every Monday, and I show you alternatives every time. I'm trying to grow my channel, so I'd really love that like and that follow. Thanks so much. I'll see you next week. Bye.